Some might suggest that this is one of the biggest songwriting thefts, literally, in musical history. And when I tell you the story behind it, you will kind of think, maybe there's something in this. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, nice to see you. We're in Parliament today, as you can see. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? All the leaves are falling down now, we hate that, but there you go, you know. Have to live with it, don't we? Spring's around the corner, that's what I keep telling myself. Yes, you have to, don't you? Hope you're well, whatever. We had a wave, we'll have another wave, I can't remember. Yes, well, it's been a long day already, you know what it's like. Now, as many people know, I love the Hollywood intern stories, you know. They always fascinate me, particularly when you look at the musicals, the big musicals, the ones that have done incredibly well, say like Gene Kelly. I was lucky enough to interview his widow, wonderful lady, and so many wonderful stories to share. Gene Kelly, of course, and Fred Astaire were the dominant force of the dancers way back in the golden era of Hollywood. And then, of course, there were the beautiful ladies like Rita Hayworth, Ginger Rogers, Sid Charisse, so many, Mitzi Gaynor, and they all were partnered with these doyens of dance, weren't they? And they all had their story. One of them was Debbie Reynolds, who I got to know very well. And at 19 years old, she starred in the mega movie that was Singing in the Rain at MGM. And she wasn't a trained dancer, you may know the story, but basically, you know, Louis B. Mayer told Gene Kelly, you'll train her to dance, she's ideal. Basically, as she pointed out, she was cheap. You know, that was the gig, really, you know, and she knew it and everybody else knew it. But behind the scenes, there was a lot of problems, you see, because they were still sort of putting the show together. Even though we see it as a mega box office smash now, behind the scenes, it wasn't exactly a fully finished film. And this was, you know, a big thing for MGM. They were banking on this to make a lot of money in the decline and the battle against television. But you see, it was really down to one particular area where a problem really occurred. And according to Debbie Reynolds, it really was quite farcical the way that they put it together. You see, the song Make 'Em Laugh, which was beautifully performed by Donald O'Connor alongside Debbie, and, you know, all that wonderful choreography and dancing, you kind of think, yeah, great tune, and of course it became a very successful record in its own right. But behind the scenes, of course, you would have heard that record before. This particular version, put together, of course, by Arthur Freed, the musical director at MGM, well, he'd already heard it because he'd already used a version of it called Be a Clown by Cole Porter in the 1948 movie The Pirate, also starring Gene Kelly and the brilliant Judy Garland. So what was the idea really behind, well, almost the same song? Debbie told me the plot really was quite simple. They needed a song like that, a comedic song, you know, a big fun comedy song that Donald O'Connor could get his teeth into, and they didn't really have one. So Arthur Freed very quickly put this song together. As I said, he also worked on The Pirate with Judy and Gene in 1948, and that particular song, Be a Clown, literally was written by Cole Porter. Now, on the day of this particular filming, get this, according to Debbie Reynolds, just wandering in on the set was none other than the original writer, Cole Porter. And Cole Porter apparently, you know, just stood there and took it all in, but they didn't use the playback because they were too nervous in case he heard this particular tune. Now, what I was sort of wondering, and I asked Debbie this myself, was surely they must have known at some point when he saw the movie, might go, that's my song. Well, apparently what happened was they decided to refilm it on a day where Cole wasn't wandering around. Now, according to Debbie, what happened was, in the fullness of time, as I like to say, yes, Cole Porter really did realise that Arthur Freed had in fact stolen the song. And the reason why Arthur Freed said he did this was simply a matter of time. He didn't have any other time to knock this sort of thing together. And so apparently Cole Porter, being a close friend, also let him off. But he had no idea how successful that particular song was going to become. So behind the scenes, MGM decided to try and strike a deal with Cole Porter, but they were met with something of a shock. He said, no, I'm not bothered, it's fine, you know, it doesn't really matter. And they said, no, you know, this could make a lot of money, and of course, maybe you want a co-writing credit. Nothing. And Cole Porter, for some explicable reason, walked away from millions of pounds. I mean, we're talking a lot of money because in today's rentals and VHSs and streaming, even now, the, you know, estate of Cole Porter could be due a mega share of that. To this day, nobody's decided to take this on, and truly nobody knows behind the scenes why. Debbie Reynolds told me that Cole and Arthur Freed were very close, if you get my picture. And that was the reason why apparently they didn't really want to go down that particular avenue. But either way, it's funny to think when you listen to both songs, Make 'Em Laugh and Be a Clown, there's nothing apart. The notes, the chord structure, the only thing different is the lyrics. And of course, in some cases, the missing millions to the original writer. But that's his secret taken to the grave. Neil Shaw, Westminster.